This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Too Old to Game. I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster, and today I'm joined by the Mark Weber.
Dub them ease.
Unfortunately, no Ricky Widmer this week. We're just trading off. Like, I think I'm the next one to be out. But we'll have to update the rotation.
We did that like when the show first started.
It's true.
There was one episode and then like 5 where we never had all 3 people.
Being an old gamer and doing podcasts, it's a difficult lifestyle to manage.
It is very difficult.
Life happens. Things come up. So, Ricky, we miss you this week. We'll catch you next week. For those of you watching on YouTube, you're like, where are the guys at? And the answer is we're still here. We're still recording. It's just the camera's not here because Ricky's not here. It's literally that simple. There's nothing else to it.
And like really, we probably could have taken the extra step to go get it from the man himself. But, you know, there's a whole process to that. And then you got to give it back. And he's sick. So I don't want to get infected.
Sick. Yeah. I got to record the fast break for the next 2 days. Not worth it. Not worth the risk.
Not interested in being sick again.
Seriously.
In my case.
But we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about a certain XBOX VP and Mike Ybarra talks on some tweets, taking shots at his own player base, which is a questionable move as a VP of Xbox.
You would think. You would think.
Following up with some discussion on Darkest Dungeon 2 being teased out there. And we'll get to something else maybe if I remember what it was.
Reggie is Reggie's retiring.
God, Reggie's retiring from
gone.
Nintendo. So.
And people have some... I mean, he deserves all the praise in the world and stuff like that, but people have some strong opinions about Reggie retiring.
Yeah?
More of people are just like, well, we've got an EA guy in here now. We're screwed.
It's true. That stereotype is pretty damn strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that follows him around like 6 years removed from when he actually worked at the company, when they weren't as bad.
True. That's true. Do you think that that's one of those kind of jobs where if it was on your resume at this point in time, you're just kind of like, I'm going to have a gap year or two?
I think it depends. It depends on who you want to work for because they do know how to make money.
Oh, they do.
And, you know, a company like Nintendo might not mind, after the colossal failure that was the Wii U, might not mind having, you know, and I own a Wii U still, but they might not mind having some money.
That's true.
And I mean,
it's not the worst thing in the world from a business perspective.
Exactly, and that's what Bowser did. Was he was the marketing, you know, the mind of the marketing behind the Switch.
Super true, and can't argue with that. I mean, it's been a wonderful product and an awesome platform.
I bought one. I've joined in.
That's true, Mark.
I've joined in.
You're now a part of the club. I'm not. I'm still one of those people. I'm like, oh, am I gonna play it enough?
It's been fun.
You're on week 2.
No, this is the first week. I bought it on Monday.
Okay, give us the hour log. How many are you dropping in?
Really not that much. I mean, I played probably like 3 hours on that Monday when I bought it. And a couple hours last night, actually, of Super Mario Odyssey. It's been fun. I haven't really played a Mario game, even though I owned Galaxy, and I played it, but I didn't really put that much time into it. So now to actually sit down and like have a controller, it's nice to play it again. It reminds me of Super Mario 64 because it's got the whole 3D world and everything, and it's just fun.
That's one of those cool things. Like the whole Mario universe is, you know, it's essentially a simple premise, but it's done in such a wide variety of ways that it's always intriguing, always interesting, and always challenging.
It's always fresh. Odyssey has a ton of different. And the game's old, so people know this already. Yeah. But a ton of different, you know, styles and stuff to your maps, your places, your kingdoms you go to. I was a little surprised, though, of just how easy I'm finding the game. And I kind of remember playing 64 and, like, thinking it was more challenging.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe I'm better of a gamer than I was when I was, like, I don't know, 12 or something like that.
You've got about a decade plus of experience at this point.
I hope so. I hope so.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I have not played it in the portable handheld version yet. I've only played it on my TV.
Ah, that's like bizarre, Ricky.
And that's really the reason, like, that's part of the reason why I was excited to get it. I'm like, cool, I can play on the couch. My wife can watch TV.
Exactly.
Haven't tested that out yet.
One of these nights, you're going to get the chance.
Someday.
I know there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you. Or you could go the Ricky route and take it into the bathroom.
Yeah. He asked me that immediately. He's like, have you taken it to the bathroom yet? And I'm like, no, actually, I haven't.
It's the most Ricky question.
Yeah.
like I do all my thinking, all my video gaming from the bathroom.
Exactly.
Like, Ricky, that shocks absolutely none of our listeners.
Nope. All this editing, this podcast you're watching, edited from the bathroom. That's actually probably not true, but I hope it is.
He sets it to upload and then goes to the bathroom. So sort of?
Maybe, yeah.
Sort of. But no, let's actually get into the first main topic of the show today, and that is Mike Ybarra's. He is the Microsoft VP, for those of you who don't know. He came out with a tweet recently basically kind of taking a knock at his own player base, and let me pull up the exact tweet for you real quick. And by real quick, I mean I'm just stalling for time.
That's all right. He's talking some shit, though.
Thank you.
He does not care. And you know what? The interesting thing about it, though, is the fact that I have seen so much Anthem trash. Like, people talking trash about Anthem.
It's a very
Game's not even out
game.
yet.
No, it is out. For
ish.
Yeah,
it's out on early access of like
PC
from
and then you
Origin,
get your 10,
right?
Correct. You have the Origin early access, and then if you're on Xbox, you get a 10-hour window from last week to technically about 6 hours from now.
Yeah,
and it will be officially live on Xbox and PlayStation.
And people are just talking trash.
It's interesting. The tweet itself was a response to PC Gamer saying Anthem's worst section has already been improved, and that's a response basically saying that, hey, Anthem has a day 0 patch that they're ready to release, and it's doing all of these fixes, all these bug fixes, and tweaks to try to make that performance better. And Mike's response was, this is actually very easy to do. Amazed at the whining. One reviewer, not the below, reviewed the game, yet in the review cited that he didn't even know how to do a combo. Embarrassing to review a game with such a lack of knowledge, which shots fired on two fronts there. First, you've got calling people who are complaining about a video game. It's in early access, technically, as we record this, whiners, I mean, are we vocal? Yes. Are we going to give you our feedback? Yes.
But you wouldn't be complaining if they were saying positive things.
Exactly.
So you can't have it both ways and say if you're saying positive things, life is great. If you say negative things, you're a bunch of whiners, and I hope you shut up.
Right. Can you accept criticism like that's? And he's not even in charge of this game's development. He is a VP of Xbox.
He just knows that this is supposed to be a system seller for.
Absolutely.
Xbox, I guess, but I mean, really, it's on PlayStation as well. So, but they want the game to do well because they want the money.
Absolutely. So that was a very bold take on his part, and then he, sort of backed it up with another line talking about how I don't do reviews because everyone enjoys different things. I suggest modern reviews should be watching streamers play a game, doing a demo, listening to what your gaming friends think, and if it seems like something you enjoy, then great. So I think that part is also maybe that's kind of like a side comment at this point, but I'm like, that's a fair point. He's actually spot on with that, from my opinion. A lot of the guys who do game reviews out there, and I've been flipping through because I'm hopelessly addicted to this game, which will only disappoint me.
For sure.
If you do a positive review on Anthem on YouTube right now, your comment section is just filled out with you're a shill, you're getting paid, like how much are they giving you for this review? Like we all know it's a trash game. If you do a negative one, it's like you get half of the crowd feeding into that and just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be worse than Destiny 2 launch.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. And the other half is like, give it a chance. It hasn't even gone live yet for real. The day 0 patch is gonna fix all your problems, give you rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah.
And it's just. The community, the gaming community seems extremely split on this. So as far as a reviewer standpoint, I kind of want to hit that because we do talk about game reviews here a lot of the time. And you should know what you're doing to review a game first off.
Yeah.
And then follow that up with, would you prefer to watch video game reviewers from a Twitch stream or these short, anywhere from 5 to 10 minute videos that kind of give you those overviews?
It's tough. So I think that my first reaction to Ybarra's comment about like, this guy can't even do a combo is like, but doesn't that maybe show you that maybe the flaw is with the game? Like maybe
during your tutorial that everyone's forced to play, you should have, put that information in there.
Or if it's just not intuitive, that's an issue. I mean, we complain about hand-holding in gaming because there is too much hand-holding in gaming. But on the flip side, if you make it to where I can't figure it out, that's a problem. And for a review, that's what the guy's supposed to say. The guy's not supposed to say, I'm going to tell you everything that you hate and everything you love about this game. That's not what it is. The game is, I'm going to tell you what my experience was like, the positives, the negatives, the things that might come up for you, because you might say, oh, I don't care that the music is bad. I play the game on mute anyways. Or you might say, oh, the controls are hard to figure out. That's a problem for me. I'm playing 5 different games. I'm not going to remember the controls. You know, whatever it might be. Like, they're trying to throw a bunch of things out there so you can latch onto the things that matter to you. And I think that's a little bit silly to go after that just because someone had a negative review. But it's interesting because I do think that, yes, there's all this collective echo chambering going on of the people who hate it are going to hate it no matter what. The people who love it are going to defend it no matter what because they've decided that they love this game already. It's not even out yet. And then there's kind of a smaller middle ground that will be having their minds made up soon. But yeah, I mean, this is just one of those type of games where because of Destiny, because of the Division and just the way these have come out and all the issues we've had with them and the poor releases, this game doesn't matter. Everyone's already made up their mind.
What, Mark? You can't just say it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Well, it doesn't matter because the people who decided they're going to dislike it, nothing to do with Anthem because of their reactions to Destiny and the Division, and the people who decided they're going to defend this game because, damn it, you are not going to talk trash. You got to give this game a chance. Neither one of those pools are going to change their mind.
It's extremely hard. I agree with you on the fact that
so no one has to play the
game.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing for me in his comments about the reviewers and what you should do to review a game, it kind of is interesting because I know for my personal preference is to watch Twitch streams. I think that gives you more of a real experience. When you watch a short, chopped up video of here's the overview of my thoughts on the game, a lot of the time I feel like that isn't giving me a true image of gameplay. Whereas if you watch a streamer, you're going to watch, either whatever struggles they have, if there's issues with the game, if there's lag spikes, if there's frame rate drops. Yeah. Are they playing alone? Are they playing with a group? Is that group interactive? Like where, I think you can learn so much more if you spend, 30 minutes watching that than 30 minutes watching 3 different 10-minute reviews.
And I think it's interesting, too, because I think the reviews give you a very brief summary of a lot of stuff. They're saying let's just throw some numbers. This is a 20-hour game, and in 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you about it. Where, like, the Twitch streamer, it's just like, I'm on hour 4, here we go. Yeah. And that's good and bad, because I think if you have the time to dedicate to watching Twitch streams, that's nice, because then you can see a lot. You can see the beginning, you can see the middle, you can see the end game, you can see it all.
Yeah.
You can see the part where the guy starts to say, not really having that much fun with this game anymore. Or, wow, this game is suddenly interesting.
Yeah.
You can see that if you've got the time for it. But it's difficult if you just see hour 6. And hour 6 is boring. And that's totally possible because there's so many games where you're
like Red Dead. When we were talking about the different acts of Red Dead where, you start off, it's a little bit slow, but you're kind of getting into the mood. You get rolling in Act 2 and Act 3, and then 4 hits, and I'm just like, hate this game right now.
Definitely.
Like, it's so slow. And if they had shown me just that gameplay of that act, I don't know if I would have bought the game.
Yes.
So you are absolutely spot on that. Like if you get the wrong window of a game, it can absolutely just shut something down.
And it depends on what you want. I mean, if you're someone who loves multiplayer, you got to watch someone playing multiplayer. If you're someone who likes the single player, I mean, I know that's not really what this game is, but if someone who really likes a single player experience, then you've got to watch the gamer that's playing that. So, like, you got to be... There's a little bit of extra work that goes into it, as opposed to, I'm going to use a name of somebody who doesn't do reviews anymore. But if you're just like, I like what Adam Sessler says, I'm going to watch and trust him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I don't care. I will trust his opinion. And people get that way with their Twitch streamers, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. As well, there's a lot of the Flavor of the Month streamers where it's whatever game is in early access, whatever game's, launching right now, that's where they swarm to. That's what they're going to play. But it's funny because you can watch the numbers on Twitch and you watch as they change, go from, I'm going to play like this past week has been, you've seen people start on Anthem and it got really hot and they were really happy with it. And then it would be like, all right, I'm on hour 4 of my normal 8-hour stream. I'm going to switch over and play some Apex Legends. Like, Anthem seemed like a game where, you know, there's a group of streamers that I watch from time to time, and I think it's three of them, and there's a couple of random guys who tag along. And it's like, they really were kind of, going back and forth over that line of Apex Legends and Anthem, Apex Legends and Anthem, and it was like, I'm really feeling this right now.
And those games are linked now.
And that's the thing, like Apex Legends came out of fucking left field and just knocked off people's socks expectations wise. People didn't have any. They're like, oh, it's a new battle royale game. Oh, it's from the makers of Titanfall 2. Oh, it's got a lot of cool mobility, a lot of cool items. We're kind of familiar with a lot of these.
Yeah.
Wait, we can do what now in this game? We get this level of shit. And it's just like, it kept going and it kept building. It's like everything you saw from a quiet release through the roof. And Ricky and I talked about, I think last week, being the Fortnite killer, and its numbers are increasing still at an incredible rate. So that game, fire in a bottle. Like that's awesome. I feel like Anthem is one of those kind of slow burn games because of this weird split release of PC, early access origin, 10-hour Xbox window, and then finally tomorrow we're going to get the full console release of it.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's the type of game where we're expecting it to really not be fully released even when it's released.
Correct.
You know, we're going to wait a few weeks before we have another patch.
Yeah, we get
and
the
eventually
pre-division
we get
patch.
more content. Yeah. And you just get a bunch of extra stuff later. But these games are so linked to where if you see somebody on Twitter mention Anthem, all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, Apex Legends is better."
Yeah, it's like, what would
Anthem's not even out yet.
But what would you rather spend your time on? But that brings me to just, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Apex Legends is a battle royale, futuristic, high mobility, high action, quick pace game. Anthem is a gorgeous looter shooter, open world, minus all the freaking loading screens, experience that you can just dungeon grind out, you know, and it's one of those games where it's just, what are you looking for today?
Yeah.
And I think the majority of the public wants to play a game like Apex Legends. I think that's where the money's at. I think that's where the fan base is at. There's still a lot of people, don't get me wrong, who would love Apex, who love Anthem, who will love games like Division 2 that will be launching next month. Games in that genre. And I think it's still going to be one of the better ones, but I don't, the market share is not there. When we all watched it at E3 last year and we're like, that looks amazing. It looks like Destiny on steroids. I can't wait. Apex Legends, zero hype to it could kill Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. and Anthem now is, from just hype alone, is running into potential flop territory.
Absolutely.
And, people are sitting there saying that Apex Legends is part of it. But I do feel like this game was really running that risk because Destiny, even though there are a core group of people who love to play it, and that core group is pretty large, but it still gets tons and tons of, trash talking and tons of people mad that it even exists. Division comes out, it struggles at launch, and now we have Anthem, and it's just like,
but the good thing for both of those games, they got better as they went on.
They did.
Like, once the content became available, people were happy with the game state for the most part. There's some balancing shit that went on, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a perfect product, but it took time, but it got there. Warframe was a free-to-play game. That took quite a long time, and now it's one of the best games of the genre, in my opinion. It's still, I don't think anyone's actually loving Endgame in any of these games.
Yeah.
But I think the thing to take away is these are living, breathing releases. They're not, here's your full product on release. And that is where the expectations, people just don't understand that. People can't get over the fact that I'm buying an investment. I'm buying part of a game. And in the future, thankfully, Anthem decided free DLCs. You will get all of your content for free. We appreciate your work. There will be microtransactions for you. So we can keep paying our event.
That's the way it goes now.
You got to keep paying your devs. If you can't pay your game devs, you can't have a full game. That's the sad state, but it's super true. And at least they're honest about it. So I have faith in the future growth of the game. I think, honestly, you're right. Publicity-wise, it's 80-20 negative right now on Anthem going into launch night, which is a bit terrifying. But, good old Mike talking smack. Actually, I was cracking up.
And that just makes people want to hate it even more.
Yeah, it's like there's a deal between Xbox and EA to promote the game, a marketing deal, exclusivity, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that you're talking garbage pre-release about people who are giving you constructive criticism, maybe not in the nicest way, but to be fair, it's the Twitter vocal majority. Yeah. Like you don't expect to
don't respond.
Yeah,
don't respond to people on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's really that simple. I mean, look at anybody who has excuse me. Look at anybody who has a large following. Are they responding to everybody? No. There's a reason why. Just don't react. Don't respond. It's that simple.
Yeah. So, on that note, Mike, I think Mark's advice is perfect way to end that segment. Let's move into the nice world of Darkest Dungeon 2.
The nice world of sad madness and hating yourself.
Wait. Did you really hate yourself from playing Darkest Dungeon 1?
Yeah. When you play and you've got you've got a good team together, these are guys who have been leveled up.
You get weirdly
strong,
emotionally attached, right?
And then they all die, and you why did I go into this? Why did I take all of them at once? This was a terrible. Why didn't I take that new guy who I have right now? And yeah, it's just so many terrible feelings when everything goes wrong. When they go right, life is great and you're happy. Then everything comes crashing down.
I think that about sums up. I mean, but it's that fun challenge of Darkest Dungeon, and I've followed this game from pretty early days to watching people speed run it. I mean, there's just such a wide variety of the options because it is a randomized kind of a game, so there's never the same gameplay. It's always going to be a little bit different. But this game is, I feel like it's one of those where it became like a really big thing on Steam. And I think because of Steam giving them that early access capability. And I was reading through this article on PC Gamer about it being early access and about the fact that, what they're going to end up doing if it is. And the two developers on this are going back and forth. And one of the questions was, do you expect it to take, what development structure do you expect it to take? Will early access be a good fit for this kind of a project? And they respond with, it's no secret we're big fans of early access model, but we're also advocates for only doing early access if it makes sense for the specific game. Although there are some massive differences in structure between DD1 and DD2, the sequel is very appropriate for early access in this type of an approach, which is awesome because it's a game where I can't wait to get my hands on it. We just saw a teaser and I'm like, I'll give you my money today. Right. I want the game as soon as you can possibly get it to me.
And I feel like it's going to be a little bit of time before we get it.
Absolutely. And to continue on with that quote, they start talking about the ability of getting something in the fans' hands into the fans' hands faster. God, that's a tough thing to say. Fans' hands faster. Kick the tires in the systems, give them an opportunity to help shape and finish off the game are really important to us. Early access is great for being able to alter your production plan depending on the reception. Big reception can mean it's a signal to invest more on a project, pull in some of the wish list items, and turn them into a reality, which I think that hearing that from a game developer is awesome because that means you listen to us as a community. And as someone who I vented a couple weeks back about World of Warcraft getting rid of their community managers who were vital on the forums, constantly keeping that line of feedback open. Like hearing this from a game dev directly is awesome, Mark.
Yeah. And for this game, really, one of the things I really like about it is you can sit there, you can play it for a long time, you can come in, you can play it really quickly just for a little bit, and then check out and come back later. And this game really was a perfect kind of, like I said, check in, check out if you want, just however much time you want to spend with it, however you feel like playing it. It was just a ton of fun, and it really did a great job of kind of reminding me of like Dungeons and Dragons, just very classic dungeon crawly type of game. And yeah, I'm very excited to have this again. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a challenge. I'm interested to see what their new theme is going to be because it has, this Lovecraftian theme to it now. do they go in a slightly different direction with that? Do they completely change some things to give you something new?
The Howling End. So I'm thinking we're watching the early or the teaser trailer. It's a nice snowy scenery.
Yeah.
There's a big mountain with snow covered in the background, and as it pans back, you get the outline of all 6 characters, and the giant 2 just drops in front of you.
And so this first game, especially for anyone who hasn't played it, you're going into like an old mansion essentially, and killing monsters and stuff that are there.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's gonna just be, instead of being inside locked in, they're gonna go the opposite direction. You're getting up this mountain. You're trying to get to the top of the mountain for whatever reason. Maybe that's where this little fire thing is. You're trying to get to the top of this mountain. So to completely change it, like you're locked in, it's cramped, it's crowded, you're claustrophobic. Now it's all open. That would be a huge change for the game. And added level. So for, once again, people who don't know, madness is a big part of this game. So like you have an insanity meter and you don't want that to fill. That causes problems. People's hearts explode. Maybe it goes the other way. Maybe they still have that, but maybe now there's this cold meter as well as you're going up this, mountain that is covered in snow. Maybe that's an extra layer that they put on, an extra challenge to it, because it seems like something they would do is really what it comes down to. It just feels like they would add that extra challenge to...
I wonder if they take it in a different direction, go like Mines of Moria style, where you're going through
maybe
a
going
mountain.
in it.
Yeah.
And
you could face a whole different set. Like they've got so many possibilities with just this one glimpse of a mountain. Like
it could have nothing to do with it.
But I love the idea of the outside, the weather, having to deal with that balance. That can be so challenging. If they go inside, there's a whole different set of monsters they fight inside, different situations. Like
you can have.
And the one thing that I'm weirdly excited about, and I don't know if you felt the same way, but I really enjoyed the soundtrack to Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah.
And I think that it is like one of those like perfect like mood setting things.
Yes, it's definitely.
I weirdly never appreciated soundtracks growing up. Like I obviously Tony Hawk. Like we all loved.
Yeah, but that was just because it's like cool punk
music. It was literally just
stuff.
like the introduction of like third wave ska and punk music, and it had just had that like perfect beat for the game. And I know Darkest Dungeon is one of them that I think that theme music really helped the ambiance and the feel of the game. Same with Red Dead Redemption too. Like that was just I could just sit back and sip on some sarsaparilla and just enjoy my time.
Yeah.
And I think that like the cool thing about Darkest Dungeon is it's all those little things that they do throughout the game, whether it's the artwork, which is a fairly unique style to it. They're not trying to wow you with graphical amazement. No, it's about the gameplay.
Yeah.
But the artwork, the music, every little interaction kind of builds into it. And I think they have like a great package. By the way, Darkest Dungeon on 75% off sale on Steam right now. They're not sponsoring us, but it's like $6.
No, it's seriously worth it.
It's 100% worth it.
I think there's 4 DLC you can get.
Yes.
It's just, you got to go for it. And PC is the way to play it.
They do have, I think...
it's on Switch.
It's on Switch. It's on iPad, which is weird. And I think they...
From what I've heard, the controls not on a PC are kind of a pain.
I could imagine.
Just get it on your PC.
I say I drop my hours.
It's not a graphically challenging game. Your PC, your laptop, it can handle this game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just... And to go back with your point with the music, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of it for us when we were, younger... You're dealing with a lot of like 8-bit music and chiptune type things. And, I was just recently playing Final Fantasy VII on my PC because I don't think I'm getting that Final Fantasy VII remake I've been promised.
Oh, so, you're totally going to get it.
So I'm just like, screw it. I'm just playing this. And then they came out with re-released Final Fantasy IX too, which was awesome.
And 7 will be coming, same old graphics, but re-releasing onto the Switch. In what, like a month?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. But yeah, I'm replaying it, and it just reminds me of hearing some of this old music and being like, man, like some of these. Which Final Fantasy is it? If you remember, where the one of the characters has to sing in an opera. Is that 6? There's like 15 of these things, so it's like, I know, which ones are which. But I think it was 6.
Okay.
Same one with the oh man, I can't even remember his name. The jester who becomes the villain at the end. With that insane soundtrack. But anyways, and that's part of
it. It is 6. There's an opera scene in 6.
It is 6.
Yes.
But yeah, they have this opera scene, and like to listen to the tune now compared to like the kind of music we have in games now, and like this is an opera, I guess. Like there's the synth voice kind of thing, and just like, but I mean these games and Final Fantasy had for the longest time the most amazing, incredible composer for their music.
They really did.
And like, but to think about it and have these awesome soundtracks and stuff like that boiled down to these, like, these are the instruments I've got to work with. So I think that might be part of it too. But yeah, now I feel still, even though we have some amazing music back in those, SNES days and stuff like that, to listen to what we can have now, it's just like, I mean, it's just such a different level, So I agree with you on that case of like, you can appreciate it so much better. But I think a lot of our appreciation of those older, not that they're bad soundtracks or anything, because a lot of them are really awesome soundtracks.
True.
But a lot of it's nostalgia.
Yeah,
too.
It does add.
You just hear it. It chimes in, and you're just boom, brought right back to Zelda, to Final Fantasy, whatever it might be. And I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, I mean, the music for Darkest Dungeon, it's really cool. I mean, this game is awesome. I honestly didn't really know that people liked it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I tried this game because
community.
Yeah, someone told me I should try it, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'll download it. It was on sale, I think, at the time or something like that. So I downloaded it, and I was like, this is awesome.
It's often in the Humble Bundles.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Yeah. And it was like, this game is awesome, and I had never really heard anybody talk about it at all. So I was surprised fairly recently when it's like, oh, people like this game. That's awesome. I'm glad other people like this game too. More people need to play it though.
I mean, I agree, and I'm happy that they're coming out with the sequel. I think that's some cool news. So I wanted to share that out there, and I'm glad. Like literally, it was just Mark and I were talking before the show. I'm looking for a camera. It's so weird.
Yeah,
I'm looking at a camera and pointing at a non-existent corner in the room. But I was like, Mark, you ever play Darkest Dungeon? And you're like, oh yeah, I love that game. I was like, yeah, cool. There's a second one coming.
Exactly, and it's perfect. I can't wait. I mean, art style is one of my favorite things. I'm just looking at pictures now, and I'm just I gotta go back and play it because I haven't played it in a while. It's a lot of fun.
All right.
But yeah, it will drive you crazy.
There's a good frustration. It's good frustration. It's not bad frustration.
Yeah. I agree.
Right. So I think that just about wraps it up.
We gotta give a shout out to Metro Exodus.
Yes,
I gotta put it out there. And
I feel bad.
I don't have it up. The from Alpha G. And I get it. Alpha G. We haven't talked about it. The problem is, even though I actually am totally into the Metro franchise, I haven't played it, and that's really why we haven't talked about it, is because we haven't played it.
Yeah.
And like, I want to be like, yeah, I'm excited about the weather and the day and night cycle, and I'm excited that we finally are in the world instead of, in tunnels and stuff like that. But like, the game's already out. I can't talk about how I think those things are cool now because
I watched a little bit of gameplay.
It's not an excuse for not playing. It's a survival. It's survival horror. It's first person shooter. I mean, it's got stealth to it. It's a lot of things that people like, but it also kind of scratches that post-apocalyptic itch that Fallout has ruined
76
for us.
Did you see what had happened to the Fallout 76 player who had the most hours in the game?
They gave him a party?
They banned his account.
Oh, nice. Why?
I think I'm not exactly sure. I was flipping through the Reddit thread. It was like he would have played for some absorbed amount of hours. Turns out, like, he was on Reddit talking about like, hey, I've played this many hours. Like, here's my guide. I've played full solo the entire time. Which apparently, like, for certain sections, he's like, I had to buy a second account so I could get through certain missions in the game with that secondary character.
And they were mad about it?
Somewhere in there, it caused him to be banned. He had an injury, basically giving him the like month off of going into work. So he was like, no, I had a lot of time to sink into the game. My life allowed me to do it, and boom. It was like he was some ridiculous level, like 450 or something.
That's crazy.
It was insane. And they just banned him. And I was like, wow, you guys, literally the only person who loves your game, right? And you got rid of him.
Well, they're like, hey, go outside, man. No, you have to.
It's a nice suggestion.
Yeah. No, you have to.
Yeah, that's a sad news about Fallout 76. It's not so hot.
So Metro Exodus, if you're looking for something, go for that. But I mean, the game's already out, so I can't really talk about how I'm hyped for it, because if I was really that hyped for it, I would buy it.
But I mean, time is precious, and you go for the Switch, you go for the convenience.
Yeah. Well, Link's Awakening really just, like, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, I have to buy it. I don't even care that this Link's Awakening remake's not even out yet. It's not going to be out for months. There's not even a release date, but I don't care. I'm buying it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be a dope game, and I'm super excited to see it. So, one last note, a game that I like based off of, not based off of, but in the same general area as Darkest Dungeon is Slay the Spire. Just going to do a shout out. It's a deck builder-esque game as you go and work your way up every floor of the spire, fighting monsters, different things. It's a fun solo game that you can pick up and drop any given day, randomized challenges. So it's a fun game. Give that some love. But I think that's something we should do more, is give some of the smaller games.
Give some love.
Give some love to some of the smaller games out there that, you know, we've been on such a AAA roll. Yeah. Basically from the fall forward, it was just every big game gets hit. And I like the smaller groups because the devs are super appreciative, and they're communicative.
And a lot of times it's small teams.
Exactly. So I want to give them the love and appreciation. So biggest takeaways from today: go buy Darkest Dungeon. Go buy Slay the Spire. Go play those games. Metro Exodus seems like a great game. If you're interested in that genre, do it up.
It's out. So
Mark
you can
will be there
it.
eventually.
Yeah.
Anthem, don't tweet about it.
Don't tweet about it.
If you're the VP of a company called XBOX, and you have a marketing deal with Anthem for exclusive rights, don't tweet about it. Shut your mouth.
Yep.
But that will do it for me. I am Dave Oster, Mark Weber. Rick Widmer will be back next week, and we will catch you next time.